AMC and GameStop may currently have a negative beta, but we do not want the market to crash, and they are not going to go up if the market fails. I do ask that you take a couple minutes and just watch the video all the way through, because I'm going to give you some specific examples, and then I would love to hear your comments or questions. Tony Denaro here, and a lot of you have been asking me to go over this negative beta as it applies to GameStop and AMC, and I thought the easiest way to get the point across about why the concept is being misunderstood and misapplied might be just to give you a quick example. In its most simple terms, beta is a measure used to determine the volatility of an asset in relation to the overall market. And in this case, we're going to use the S&P 500. Just to recap and reading from the screen here, a stock with a beta between 0 and 1 moves in the same direction, but in a lesser amount than the market as a whole. A typical example would be utility stock. A stock with a beta equal to 1 moves in the same direction and in the same amount as the market as a whole. An example would be the S&P 500 index fund. And a stock with a beta greater than 1 moves in the same direction but in a greater amount than the market as a whole. A common example would be popular technology stocks. And then we have that more rare stock with a negative beta, or a beta less than 0. And this would be a stock that moves in the opposite direction than the market as a whole. The formula for determining beta is the covariance between the return on an individual stock and the return on the overall market divided by the variance of the return of the overall market. The critical thing when thinking about beta is to remember that the result, or the beta, is entirely dependent on the time sample that you're using. When we look at this more detailed breakdown of the formula, that is the N minus 1. The N is the number of periods that we're looking at. So are we looking at the last 12 months, or the last 60 months, or the last 120 months? Each sample size will give you a different beta. For example, if you look at the 5-year beta on AMC, it's a positive number. If you look at the last 12 months of AMC, it's a negative beta. When determining covariance, if we plot data points, one problem is that a strong outlier can have a disproportionate effect on the end result. And now I'm going to bring this all home with an example. Let's just say, for example, that this third column shows the monthly returns for the S&P 500 for the 12-month period between September 2020 and September 2021. And the second column shows the monthly returns for AMC stock for the same period. Notice that in this example, the returns for both the S&P 500 and AMC are exactly the same for each month, so we get a beta of 1. This example just shows you that if the return for AMC each month equals the return for the S&P 500, you get a beta of 1, like we covered in the beginning of the video. Now let's put the actual returns in for the S&P 500 for this 12-month period. Interestingly, we see now that we have a positive beta of 4.68. I know you're wondering, how is that possible? Because right now AMC has a negative beta. Well, I did this just to lead you to the final part of this example. I left out the outlier for AMC. Let's put in the real number for January for AMC, which was 500%. That one number changed the entire 12-month beta for AMC to a negative 3.6. So really what you have to think about and ask yourself honestly is, does a 1-month data point mean that the entire stock has a negative beta every month of the year? Stocks that we typically associate with a negative beta would be something like gold, a flight to safety, something that has a negative correlation to the market. So when the market goes down, normally we expect gold will go up. That's a negative beta. I think it is a misconception, a mischaracterization of an outlier data point giving AMC a negative beta that is making people think that AMC or GME would be a flight to safety during a market crash, or that because the market crashed, AMC and GME are going to skyrocket. If the sole argument during a 30 or 40% market crash is that because AMC and GME currently have a negative beta, that they would go up. That is just a fundamental misunderstanding of this outlier situation and why they have a negative beta. If we remove this one data point, this one anomaly, they don't have a negative beta. And because the beta coefficient is dependent on the time range that you're looking at, if we go out more than 12 months, again, AMC and GME do not have a negative beta. If you made it this far, I want to make sure and leave this on a positive note because I'm a holder of both AMC and GME stock. And the thing that they have going for them is that we buy the dips. For sure, if there's a one-day drop in the S&P 500 or the market and that takes down AMC, we are going to buy the dips. That's a buying opportunity at a discount. It's my personal belief that if there is an extended downturn in the market lasting a month or two or three or a year, that is going to have a drag down on AMC and GME. They're not going to skyrocket up. But I think that if there is a market correction that lasts a month or 3 months or a year, AMC and GME are going to perform more in that range of a beta between 0 and 1. So the market may go down 30%, but because of the community that is buying AMC and GME on the dip, the decline in AMC and GME won't be as severe as the general market decline. That's an important contrast between saying if the market goes down 30%, AMC and GME are going to go up 30 or 40% or 100 or 500. I hope this example of how beta works using real data from AMC and the S&P 500 was helpful to you in gaining a little more understanding of why we have a negative beta at this current moment in time. And I hope it helps you understand why a market crash is probably not going to be good for any of us that are holding any equities. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and if you found this video valuable, please take a moment to buy and hold that subscribe button, and I will see you on the next video.
So you wanna go to war with me? You're talking like you think you